Sophia. Hi, Priscilla. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing awesome. And we are going live today with the topic breastfeeding, all about breastfeeding. Shoot me with whatever questions you have. I already have 16 questions to answer. So it's going to be super interactive session today. Bahut questions hai. My buck will be less. Your questions will be answered more. And let's wait for people to join in. So for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, hello, I am Dr. Farah. I am a family physician by profession. I'm based in Bangalore, and I have written the book, ta-da, Newborns and New Moms. If you are expecting, if you had a baby, or if you're planning a baby, please read this book. If your baby is also like 15 years old, read this book, because we all know after delivery, we go through a lot emotionally, physically, and many mothers have not had closure, that they've not made peace with that period of time. I'm live simultaneously on BabyChakra as well as Instagram. Instagram family, please follow me on BabyChakra. If you're new to BabyChakra, download the app, use capital FARAH, capital, all capitals, FARAH. Use that code, my referral code, and join BabyChakra. It's an awesome app, especially if you're expecting. And the link is in my bio. And for those of you joining from BabyChakra, you can buy my book right now. So we are going to start with the first question, or should I just give an intro? Punita, I remember your name. Punita is halfway through my book and I'm loving it. She says, Punita, I want your review on Amazon, dear, and please send me a selfie with the book. I'm collecting the selfies with my book. Yes, for those of you who don't know, all my readers, they're connecting with me on Instagram. So many of them are my friends. So many of them are friends ke friends. And they're all DMing me or WhatsApping me their pictures with the book. And I'm collecting, because this book is because of you guys. It's because of my patients. It's because of my friends. It's because of people who have shared their journeys with me. And so it is very close to my heart. And a lot of the stories in it are my own personal struggles, that in spite of being a doctor, in spite of being medically trained, I was not able to breastfeed my son. So I'm coming out in the open and telling कि मेरे बच्चे को दोनों formula breastfeed दिया गया था, and I made sure the second time around, when my daughter was born, the hurdles, the lessons I learned, and I was able to exclusively breastfeed her till 6 months, and I went on to 1.5 years. I used to feed her along with food, which she never ate. And Punita, you really Nitya, loving the book, have the Kindle version. Oh God, I'm just waiting for people to join in. And I'm just telling what all feedback I'm getting. Someone is reading the Kindle version. Nitya, please leave an Amazon review, guys. Let other moms benefit. It's a crowdsourced book and it will help you with traditional wisdom too. So much about my book. One last shout out, Newborns and New Moms. And let's jump to the topic of breastfeeding. Chapter number 5 in my book is breastfeeding, and this is the chapter closest to my heart, because yahi se meri journey shuru hui thi of writing this book. Because as I told you, I haven't mentioned this many times, I was not able to breastfeed my son. And the biggest hurdles a woman faces in breastfeeding are what? Is it a medical problem? Is it a physical problem? What is it? The biggest hurdles to breastfeeding are usually from here. It's not a mental problem. It's more like it can be a mind block. It can be a lack of encouragement. It can be pressure on the mother. Like, in fact, I was speaking to someone recently, and she said that her son had jaundice. And usko doctor ne bola tha, please don't give formula. Go ahead with breastfeeding. And she said, I was desperate. I was all over the place. मेरा उसका jaundice नहीं जा रहा था बच्चे का, and they told me to breastfeed, and I could not tolerate him crying so much, क्योंकि वो machine आती है ना, blue light वाली phototherapy machine. When you put the baby in that, a newborn baby, like 3 days old, the baby will cry so much, and he wants the familiarity and warmth of the mother. He's just out in the open without clothes, just a nappy, and the baby is really crying, and obviously the mother is also crying, looking at the condition of her child. And at that point of time, she was desperate ki formula de do, bhai mujhe bas thodi der sona hai, I just need a breather. So every woman It's not easy to breastfeed. It's one of the most difficult things. It's one of the most natural things, but it is one of the most difficult things. And when a doctor or your relative comes and tells you कि go ahead and formula दे दो, इतना क्या रो रहे हो तुम? Our confidence just goes out of the window. Everyone's confidence can go out of the window. आके बोलते रहेंगे सर पे, अरे तुमको तो दूध नहीं आ रहा है. Arey, your breasts are not engorged, you're not getting milk. So for those of you having a difficult time or who had a difficult time, कुछ नहीं पढ़ो तो breastfeeding का chapter पढ़ लो. I talk about all the emotional aspects. In my book, I don't mention about cradle hold and football hold and this hold. I don't tell you about these technicalities. It has been spoken a lot about in so many wonderful books, on so many blogs. But it talks about the more practical thing as an Indian woman that we face. And the thing about breastfeeding is the first 3 days, I had released an infographic on this last week about dry sucking. I'm going to talk about dry sucking. So for those of you who are new moms and joining over here, I'm going to tell you about, first thing I'm going to tell you is dry sucking. तो पहले 2 से 3 दिन माँ को दूध नहीं आता है. You won't get enough milk the first 2-3 days. You will get a few drops. And that's when first 2-3 days only now, baby's crying because baby's just delivered, new to the world. That's why the baby's crying. The mother's smell, the mother's nipple smell particularly reminds him of the smells that he had in the womb. The amniotic fluid, जो fluid है जिसमें आपका baby float होता रहता है जब आपकी कोख में है, when the baby's in your womb, that smell is similar to the nipple smell. And that's why the baby wants to suck, 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 suck. And that's when the mother will get this doubt कि am I getting enough milk? No, you're not getting enough milk. But please remember, it is enough for your baby. It might look like a few drops, but when your baby is born, उसका पेट इतू सा रहता है, बहुत छोटू सा रहता है. 1 to 2 teaspoons of milk can only go in that tiny stomach, and it grows rapidly over the next 1 week, and your milk will also catch up. So the important thing to remember is in dry sucking is you will not get milk, but you have to give whatever you're getting. The first milk, colostrum, rich in antibodies and amazing for the baby. Then the next thing about this thing is, I'm just looking for questions. The next important point about breastfeeding is that when around 5th to 6th days, that's when the milk, if the baby has sucked and sucked and sucked, that's when the milk will start coming and you'll feel that fullness and that engorgement in your breast. So yay, you have reached that phase. Congratulations. Hopefully no one has bugged you to reach that phase. And your nipples are very sensitive. Nipples are very sensitive initially, so you will face the problem of nipple cracks. Now, nipple crack kya hota hai? See, the whole, suppose this is, okay, this is the breast, and yahan par, this is the nipple. The brown area around that is called the areola. And this is the areola, and this is the nipple. So remember, a part of the areola and nipple goes into the baby's mouth. And if just the nipple goes, right, friction से घस जाता है. And even if the baby's latch is good, you will get some degree of nipple crack. तो ये जो nipple है, ये ऐसे इसकी circle के shape में ऐसा crack आता है. So when the baby leaves now, that time you can examine, and it is very painful. It is probably one of the most painful things that can happen to a woman, the nipple crack. So especially जो शुरू में बच्चा latch on कर जाता है ना, that time it is terribly painful. Now I'm going to tell you one very interesting point over here. One of the ways to tackle nipple crack is relax before feeding, because वो डर से ही ना, imagine आपको अगर किसी चीज से डर लग जाए तो what do? You contract, your muscles go tight. Same thing is happening with the breast. Same thing is happening with the breast nipple muscles. So when you're about to feed the baby, that time आप डर के आपका nipple retract हो जाएगा. It's going to be an organic reaction that it will retract. So the baby will chomp on it, like मुंह में चाहिए nipple, and it's used to a certain shape, right? So the baby will chomp on the nipple, and that will worsen the crack. So one thing that you do when you start feeding the baby is take a deep breath, listen to some relaxing music. I'll tell you personally what worked for me. There are abundant creams, abundant things to do, but 2 things that worked for me was, there was one gel I used, which was an antiseptic plus क्या बोलते उसको, analgesic. It was not an analgesic, it was a local, what's that word? Local anesthetic. Yeah, it was a local anesthetic which you लगा सकते थे. And the beauty of that gel was, after I would feed my daughter or my son, I would wash myself with water and apply that on the nipple. So it not only protected me from infections, it also dulled the pain a bit. So the next time I would feed, by next feed, I would wash it. I would not let the baby have it in his mouth. For those of you who were battling this really worked for me. The name of the gel is Zyte gel. Zytee gel. ठीक है, मैंने वो लगाया था. तो how I used it was, after the baby's feed, I would wash off the baby's saliva, I would apply it and wear a bra normally. And then before the next feed, I would wash it off thoroughly. It is not baby friendly. Baby should not have it. On the other hand, there is another tip. Okay, I'm going to get into another controversial topic over here. Against it. I'm against it only if you're exclusively formula feeding your baby. Please do not give the baby honey. Honey का मैंने टॉपिक पहले भी कवर किया है. बेसिकली बच्चे को जब हनी चटाते हैं, वो शुरू में बेबी पैदा होने के बाद, it's a Hindu custom, it's a Muslim custom to give the baby. Muslims में हम लोग डेट देते हैं. Hindus में they give honey or गुड़ with ghee. And that is the prelactal feed, which I am in favor of. But honey, on the other hand, the study which was done, जिससे बोले थे बच्चे को botulism हो सकता है, जिससे बोले थे बच्चा paralyzed हो सकता है, that's in that child, the study which was done, and it was published in the British Medical Journal, the baby was formula fed. तो वो जो antibodies रहते हैं जो आपके बच्चे को बचाएंगे from these dangerous spores, from these dangerous bacteria, it is there in your breast milk. So if you do not get Zyte gel that I mentioned, or if nothing is working for you, just apply very little honey on your nipple. You know what purpose that will serve? The baby will lick at the nipple. कि ये क्या मीठा मीठा टेस्ट आ गया. So उसका जो initial भूख रहती है ना, that mad hunger, that will come down. And okay, he got a little bit of instant glucose. That will calm the baby down. So his latch will not be that crazy strong. Second thing it will do it, the lick of the baby, वो जो जब चाट के टेस्ट कर रहा है, and put a very thin layer. I'm not asking you to give honey and substitute your milk with honey. वो जो चाटता है, your nipple itself will relax a bit. So the baby's latch will be a little lighter. I will come back to your questions. I can see there are a lot of questions coming. I will come back to your questions. And I'm just giving an introduction to any new mother. So initial mein 10-15 minutes I want to devote to give you guidelines. So that's what I'm telling. So if you have a nipple crack, बच्चा latch करता है तो बहुत दिक्कत हो रही, बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, apply very little honey. Let the baby lick it. Your nipple will relax, the baby will relax, and it will be a smoother journey. If the pain is too much, Zyte gel worked wonders for me. I'm telling you again, I do not endorse products. And I'm not in favor of any nipple care cream or anything. I'm just telling you what worked for me as a mother. I'm not an influencer. I don't endorse products, not yet at least. But I'm not endorsing. I'm just giving a practical information over here. And let's get started with the questions. We'll take a break over here. Any new moms, if you have any urgent queries, please ping me right now. I'm going to look at it. And I'm sure you guys are very busy. आप 1 घंटा बैठ के मेरे Insta live नहीं देख सकते हैं. तो okay, so I'm going to get into the questions. One question I'm getting from Priscilla is, I'm 30 weeks pregnant, and when there is a pressure on my breast, like while sleeping, few drops of clear fluid is coming out. Is it okay? Yes, it is okay. That means your breasts have started to make milk, and moms start leaking at the age of 6 months of pregnancy. Moms can start leaking little. But the hormone which causes letdown of the milk has not increased, and the other hormones which are taking care of your pregnancy, those hormones will not let so much milk come out. So your breasts are getting prepped. Congratulations, Priscilla. This will be you're getting a head start. At 6 months, you can expect a little bit of leakage, a little bit. It won't be leaky breast. थोड़ा सा pressure से निकल सकता है. Not a problem. I'm just gonna see. Thank you, Nitya, for referring mommy friends. Please ask them to DM me. Punita, I love that you messaged me and told me that you've read half the book. Now, how can I be sure that my baby is full with one particular feed? How do you check if milk supply is there or not? My son will be 2 months and 6 days. देखो, आप अपने breast का size देके या breast का engorgement देके, you cannot figure out if your breast milk is enough for the baby or not. You cannot. So what you do in that case, you see the output. Is the first thing is the baby satisfied at the end of the feed? That is not exactly always 100% going to tell you कि baby is going to be satisfied and baby is full. क्योंकि कभी-कभी दूध छुड़ाने के बाद वो लोग को बस माँ का nipple चाहिए मुंह में, right? The babies just want the mother's nipple in the mouth. So that is not your exact correct thing. What you see is the baby sleeping for at least 1 or 2 hours? women who are formula feeding as well as breastfeeding, don't follow this advice. I'll come to mothers who are formula as well as breastfeeding after this question. And this is for exclusively breastfed babies. If you're having a doubt whether your baby is feeding well enough, one is that every 2 weeks or as per what your pediatrician says, get a serial weight check. Second thing I want you to do is see how many wet nappies are there. In the first month, the baby should be producing at least 8 to 10 wet or poop nappies. Okay, that is going to give you the output. जो अंदर जा रहा है वो बाहर निकल रहा है, good. That is how you need to measure the output. And if someone comes and tells you your breasts are not big enough, your breasts are not engorged enough, please do not believe them. Every breast is different, every mother is different, and mother will not क्या बोलते हैं बाहर से देख के नहीं मालूम पड़ सकता है. Some people have engorged breasts and इनका leaking and all can go on for 3 months also. Some mothers they adapt very quickly. Breasts also grow a little bit inside, तो engorgement उनको उतना feel होता नहीं है. It doesn't get that full जैसे पत्थर जैसे hard हो रहे हैं, and kind of lucky in that. And next, how can I be sure that my baby is full with one particular feed? How do you check if milk supply is there or not? So I have answered your question, Nitya. You can be sure by the number of feeds. And if your baby is 2 months, if he's taking at least 2-hour naps after a feed, then you should be content कि बच्चे को enough दूध मिल रहा है. Now I'm before I answer any more questions, I'm going to stop right here, because from the last 2 weeks I'm getting constant DMs for lactation consultation. Please help us out. The question is, my baby is on formula as well as breast milk. I want to stop the formula and exclusively breastfeed the baby. And the baby का जो वो है, the babies are usually 3 to 6 weeks के बीच में old babies. These are the DMs I'm getting. So for moms, if you are having this issue, it's going to be a little confidence chahiye. You need a lot of support for this. One thing is you have to get a little hard-hearted कि ठीक है बच्चा मांगेगा देंगे, and you be mentally prepared for the next 3 to 4 days. There will be a non-stop sucking going on. No problem. That is what is to be expected. And when you breastfeed the baby, after that, what I want you to do is don't give the baby formula. Many moms are giving 60 ml of bottle. So you have to de-addict them. Now, this example I always give my patients कि अगर आप भिंडी रोटी खा रहे हो रात में, if you had any sabzi and roti for dinner, उसके बाद क्या होता है? You'll sleep 8 o'clock you eat dinner, 10:30 or 11 o'clock you're going to sleep. You'll sleep well, you'll sleep light. If you go to sleep at 10:30 or 11 and you had pizza or a burger for dinner, how are you going to sleep? You're going to be a little uncomfortable, and you're going to be Hindi mein bolte tun. You'll be like totally full, and you'll be like that. You won't sleep with a lightness. And sometimes in the morning also you're like, "Arey, I'm too full from last night's heavy biryani or heavy burger." But if that bhindi roti or dal roti that you have at night in the morning, you're going to feel fresh as a daisy. The same thing with formula. Formula is that heavy loaded feed, whereas breast milk is that light sabzi roti wala feeling. So your baby will not rest. If you are transitioning from a mixture of breast and formula to trying to go to only breast, your baby will be like, muh mein dalo, kuch to muh mein dalo. They want that fullness, they want that tunness, they want to be tun. So what you can do is, baby's asking for milk, it'll be tough, it will be exhausting, but it will be worth the effort, because at the end of the day you're going to give them very best nutrition you can get, and you're going to save a lot of money and a lot of effort that goes into sterilizing these bottles, buying these bottles. It's a big jhanjat. So if you go completely breast, nothing like it. And feed the baby every hour. Ask your husband to take over. Sometimes because of your smell only, they'll be like, muh mein do, muh mein do. Babies are very smart. They just want to use mama as a bottle, cow, pacifier, everything. Okay, that is one thing. And then the next thing is, so yeah, for moms who want to go from formula plus breast directly to breast, it will take effort. You be stubborn. Be more stubborn with the baby. Don't make it traumatic for the baby. Sometimes the babies in the night, right, they will want a feed. Daytime feeds will be much easier. Please remember, शाम में थोड़ा breast milk थोड़ा कम हो जाता है. That can put a mother at doubt कि अरे am I not getting enough milk in the night? So first feeds to remove is the morning feeds. phase it out. So first, every 2 hours if you're feeding, every 3 hours if you're feeding, or if you're feeding, then you're giving 60 ml of formula. उसके बाद बच्चा 3 घंटे सो रहा है, stop that formula. Give your milk. Be mentally prepared. Get your husband to be mentally prepared. If you want your husband support, make him watch this IGTV. Tell him कि हम ये कर सकते हैं बच्चे का formula छुड़ाने के लिए. Get his support. Be it your mother-in-law, whoever, get their support. So when you have that support, when people are not telling, अरे formula देके खत्म करो ना बाबा, you don't need that kind of energy around you. It's going to be very difficult. It will be an uphill battle. You need support for this. So ask them to watch this with you. Ask them to, I'll be saving this IGTV on my Instagram. And if you're joining from BabyChakra, this is obviously going to be there. And you can show it to them and get support to go from formula plus breast to exclusively breast. And the more the baby will suck, the more milk you will get. That is the most important takeaway from here. If you're giving the baby feeding every 1 hour because he's asking, he's not getting that satisfaction, that fullness of the formula, let him have it. Your breast will also benefit from the stimulation they are getting. If your baby is content and कुछ someday ऐसा लग रहा है कि बच्चा नहीं मान रहा है, formula देना ही पड़ रहा है, no problem. After feeding, express that milk. Keep it, give it to the baby. Or if you don't want to give the express milk, no problem. Don't mix bottle and breastfeed formula and expressed milk को mix मत करो, and let the milk come to room temperature before putting in the fridge. ठीक है? Because your milk is quite warm when it's just produced. Now, next question is, my son doesn't sleep always, ma'am. Nitya, did I miss a beginning of the question? What do you mean by my son doesn't sleep always? And if you're posting questions right now, please write the age and weight of the baby. That will really help me answering. I'm taking galactic granules for increasing the breast milk. You can, Pratiksha, taking these supplement granules to feed, to increase your milk supply are actually pretty good. And this particular brand that you have mentioned, it's that milk production one, you can go for it. It is pretty good. In fact, I used to take lactate tablets. Uska powder bhi aata hai that you mix in the milk and have. And I'll tell you what my journey was with these granules. I did not go for granules. I went for granules in my first delivery ke baad. I went for those lactate tablets. And what I used to do is, my daughter used to have a growth spurt. I used to feel every 10 days now, uska appetite बढ़ जाता था. And my confidence, which was shaken from not being able to breastfeed my son, तो confidence shake हो जाता, क्या हुआ? So I would take lactate tablets. I would take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the night. वो pink color की एक tablet आती है. Take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the night. I would take it for 3 days in a row, and my breast milk would catch up. And her feeding itself would increase my breast milk supply. So that helped me. Galactic granules you can have, but if your child is 1 year old, you can stop the galactic granules. You don't need to take it. You can have normal milk that you're having, normal food. Baby is 1 year old, you don't need to increase the milk supply. In fact, let him have outside food now. Aapka milk can go into the background. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Pratiksha. How shall I decide if formula should be given or not? Don't give formula. Yeah, Nitya, I know your question is, I think you posted the question on BabyChakra. I'm coming to the BabyChakra questions also. I'm coming. My 3.5-month-old baby doesn't take feed from breast while being awake. She pushes me whenever I try to breastfeed her. I have to put her to sleep so that I can feed her. What to do? Punita, I think your baby is pushing you away, maybe because there is a mismatch in expectation. Maybe you are thinking the baby needs to be fed every 2 hours. Baby ka stomach bada ho gaya. 3.5 months, no? She's having a regression in the number of feeds she's taking. And if the baby is satisfied during the day and wants to sleep and feed, that is perfectly okay. That is actually good only, because 3.5 months baby's stomach has enough capacity to hold that milk and be active, like play and interact with the mother. And 3.5 ki na, to abhi to thoda interaction बढ़ जाएगा. So you don't have to force her ki take my milk. And please remember, your breast is not just food for the baby. It is also pacifier. It works as a pacifier. It works as comfort. तो सोते सोते वो मजे की चूसते हुए सोना है, that is not a problem. As long as your baby is growing well, and you don't need to feed by the clock. 3.5 months they will demand the milk. You don't have to wake them up and feed them. In fact, I don't really, unless the baby is a very heavy sleeper. कुछ बच्चे होते 3 4 घंटा सोते हैं, newborns. Very lucky mothers, I feel. Yeah, they have to be woken up and fed. But your baby sleeping time पे अगर ले रहा है, that is not a problem. That some babies do that. And but is there a new development? I would like to know that. Is it a sudden new development? And also another question, Punita, I have for you. Agar baby, your new development, is there a change in your diet, or is there a change in you? Do you think there's a change in your mental health? Like, are you more upset right now? Because babies pick out our energies. When we are tense, no, we have a different energy, and the babies are the most sensitive people. They're very tuned into our frequencies. There are studies going on around about this, and it's not a established science per se, but as a mother, we know बच्चों को हमारी energies, हमारे moods pick up होते हैं, and more upset we are, the more attached they want to be and the more they want to suck. And this brings me to, again, I'm reiterating, I'm talking about this again. Colic in babies can be one of the very most common causes, which is not talk about, is mother being stressed. So if you are stressed and breastfeeding, gusse mein, you're cursing someone under your breath, she said this to me, or they said this to me, or whatever the reason is, or they didn't come to meet me, whatever qualms you're having with somebody, and you feed the baby, एक तो baby will suck very hard because मेरा boat sink हो रहा है, उसको वैसा feeling आता है. The other thing the baby will do is they'll want more feed and they'll cry more because they want mama close to them. When they cry, mama comes close to them. So if you feel your baby's colicky, try something that relaxes you, be it music, be it talking to someone you love, be it taking your spouse's support, your partner's support, your mother's support, whoever it is, your mother-in-law, whatever rapport you have. Get the support, try to relax, watch something on Netflix while feeding. That will distract you. I wouldn't recommend that you stay awake in the night and watch things online. Don't do that. That's going to mess up your sleep cycle, जो थोड़ी बहुत sleep भी मिलती है. But try to relax yourself. You'll see that baby's colic gets affected. It will improve by that. Azra, my baby, I have received this question on BabyChakra also, and I'm getting it on Instagram also. My baby has a poor weight gain, currently 4.4 kgs, born 3.6. She's exactly 2 months old today. He suggested I feed my baby formula milk 90 ml after my feed, along with 8 to 10 drops of simethicone. Please don't start formula. I would not recommend you start formula for the baby. What is the reason? Okay, have you checked if the baby is jaundiced? Because that can be a poor reason for weight gain. Is the baby passing enough stools? And the I would want to discuss this further rather than just talking to you on Instagram, because I want to know the complete history. So Azra, I would ask you to DM me. Please, आप मुझे message करो. I want to talk to you about this in detail, because your doctor is telling you to start formula, and I think you have mentioned that your child was. It's there on BabyChakra also. You had mentioned. Yeah, your child, please, I would like to talk to you in detail. Let's DM and talk, Azra. And you have a history of feeding your older boys, and you fed them for 2 years, and they were very healthy and chubby. That's fantastic. Guys, if you are interested in this question, I'll make a short video, okay? About what I spoke to Azra, and I'm pretty sure many mothers would benefit from this. I'll make a short video and tell you her question also and her answer also, and I will release it, because Azra, I would want to know more details. I just don't want to give a prescription and say nahi formula must start karo, because at the end of the day the baby has to gain weight. So Azra, please meet me in the DMs. I hope that I will talk to you in detail, and if there's a need for any pediatrician second opinion, I'll get you that also. Done. Now I'm on BabyChakra's questions. What are the benefits of breastfeeding? What are not the benefits of breastfeeding? Quickly, I'll tell you what are the benefits of breastfeeding, Sona. 1, best nourishment for your baby. 2, antibodies for your baby that will coat the intestine, protect the child from future infections and allergies. क्योंकि अगर आप बच्चे को formula देते हैं, the protective coat that your intestine gets, that the baby's intestine gets, will not be formed. 3, the best प्रीबायोटिक ये होता है जो आपके बच्चे के पेट के बैक्टीरिया को खाना देता है. प्रोबायोटिक इस बच्चे का पेट का बैक्टीरिया, प्रोटेक्ट्स द बच्चा फ्रॉम so many diseases, so many gastrointestinal diseases. 4, your blood loss will be less. It will protect you from anemia in the future. So please, guys, breastfeed. Bonding. Okay, I don't think any mom talks about it, but there was a huge gap in my bonding with my son, because I was not able. I had a very rough road, delivery के बाद मेरे बेटे के साथ. So I had this thing, it was a very overwhelming relationship for me with my son. It just sapped energy out of me. I didn't get that joy of being a mother. And it took me, you could say, 6 months to 1 year to reach that stage of mamta. Mamta to thi, that love and that affection and seeking out, which with my daughter at, you say, 1 to 2 months, there was a big difference. हम लोग ना bonding बोलते हैं, but I can see the difference with the two kids. And it was a rocky road with my son, and I was very overwhelmed. I was not in postpartum depression, but I was very overwhelmed. And मेरी बेटी के साथ it was even more difficult, but I conquered those problems, and काफी आसान था मेरे लिए to fall in love with her. And new moms, I think you'll connect with this, that माँ बन गए तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं you're gonna love your baby. You ask a mother जिनके 5 दिन का बच्चा है और 5 साल का बच्चा है, this is जमीन आसमान का फर्क in what kind of love we feel for them. And it really saps the energy out of you. But once you get on track for breastfeeding, really nothing like it. You're going to get emotional when you wean your baby off. You're going to cry like, damn, this is the last day I'm going to feed my kid. So it's amazing, the bond you form. And breastfeeding, what's the best benefit of breastfeeding? Weight loss. You're burning 500 to 600 calories sitting and feeding your baby. You're giving your baby the best this thing. You're also losing weight. I'm telling you guys, 9th month mein. Now today I'm 59 kgs. थोड़ा और कम हो गया, मेरे बच्चे बहुत भगाए मुझे, don't ask. So yeah, I lost all that weight by breastfeeding. I lost that weight. Active हूँ, दो बच्चे छोटे, they make me run a lot in the house. So that's how I lose weight. That's my workout. So benefits of breastfeeding तो बहुत है. I can spend an entire day talking about. How long should a mother breastfeed? Very important question. How long should a mother breastfeed? And I don't think many people know the convincing answer to this. You should exclusively breastfeed your baby for 6 months. And if your baby, not many doctors say this. We always say 6 months. ऐसा नहीं कि 6 months के बाद suddenly तुम्हारे बच्चे को graduation हो गया और कि आज से solid शुरू करूँगा. If your baby's birth weight doubles around 5 months, you can start little, but 6 months तक रुक सकते हो. You can start, sensitizing the baby a bit. थोड़ा सा बनाना चटा दिया, थोड़ा चटाना चालू कर दो, तो बच्चे का taste buds आएगा. He'll learn how to manipulate the food. Suddenly at the 6 months के लिए आप inauguration ribbon cut करके inauguration करोगे और उसके मुंह में बनाना डालने की कोशिश करेंगे, या mashed potato या rice or whatever you want to give, Cerelac, जो भी आपको देना है weaning food, you'll put it in the baby's mouth. The baby will be like, ये क्या डाल दिया मेरे मुंह में? Because I thought it would be like मेरे बच्चे तो यूं खाने वाले हैं. Nobody ate. अभी भी रुलाते हैं मुझे खाना खिलाते वक्त. And how long you should breastfeed? If you want to continue breastfeeding after 6 months, fantastic. I applaud you. And I really hope your journey is easy. If you can't, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Try to do it. Get support. Get a support from lactation consultant. You can reach out to me, and I can help you out. But if you want to continue breastfeeding, you can continue till 2 years along with feeds. And UNICEF and WHO recommendation is till 2 years. And I think किसी और का recommendation till 1 year. There was, I think it was UNICEF का 2 years का था, WHO का 1 year. It's 2 years. The answer is 2 years. You can breastfeed your baby till 2 years. And I have received another question. Ki my baby wants, at the age of 3 years, wants to be breastfed in the night. I think it's about time that you wean it off, because वो oral fixation जो होता है ना, जो बोलते हैं, a bad habit starts developing after 2 years. कि मुंह में लेकर सोना है. I need you to get rid of that habit, because that is see बच्चा comfort मांगता है. At the breast का बच्चा comfort मांगता है. But if that continues after 1.5 to 2 years, चलता जा रहा है, that's when they develop this thing of ये जो है ना, comfort eating. It's a phenomenon right now. Everyone does comfort eating. कि upset हो गए chocolate खाना है, upset हो गए लड्डू खाना है, गाजर का हलवा खाना है, जो भी. That comfort eating, this starts from these unhealthy habits right at बचपन से शुरू होते हैं. So कि like मम्मा ने मारा, मम्मा ने कैंडी दे दी, that link gets formed in your brain, and that stays with you. You don't even know where it came from, but it comes from your childhood. So similarly, it's a little unhealthy habit that you continue the baby with milk. I'm not saying, oh, it's wrong, stop it. I would never say that to a mother. I know it's not easy to get the baby off the breast, but you can phase it out slowly. बच्चे को पानी दो रात में, give them a heavy meal, or give them something they like. बच्चे को chicken nugget, 3 साल का बच्चा है, they like chicken nuggets or they like French fries, दे दो रात में. chocolate cake चाहिए ठीक है दे दो brush करा दो and you give them something that they like and keep talking to them. A 3-year-old kid is big enough to understand logic, and we should treat our kids with respect as intelligent people, because when you tell them that I want you to do this, can we do this, can we try that today, and don't make it a traumatic experience for the child. मैं I would suggest कि खाने को लेके ना बच्चों को कभी ट्रॉमेटाइज नहीं करना चाहिए, although I wouldn't say कि मैंने कभी किया नहीं है. I'm pretty sure I've traumatized my kids by shouting at them and trying to force feed them because they were on a hunger strike. But let's not traumatize the baby when you're stopping the breast milk. Especially 3-year-old बच्चे को काफी समझ आ जाती है तब तक. So go easy on yourself and slowly you can. This is the question from Varsha, and I'm answering Varsha's question. You should stop the breastfeeding. Try to have a schedule, and it's a nighttime feeding. So stop it and tell him every day, thoda thoda karke bologe, the baby will catch up, and ask the father to take the tucking in duty. That will help. Aapki smell kam aayegi to bachcha bhi will be like, okay, fine, I'll do it. If he has a teddy, kids have this thing of holding something. ऐसे पकड़ के घूमना है. It can be a rattle, it can be a teddy bear, it can be a handkerchief also, something with Donald Duck or something. Handkerchief, I've seen one kid do that also. उसको हर जगह वो पकड़ना चाहिए. That's like the security blanket बोलते हैं उसको. कि they get comfort from them. Give them that. Give them whatever they like, really like. आप इसको लेके सो जाओ. अभी आप बड़े हो गए हो. You don't need my milk. Talk to them. Respect their intelligence. They're very intelligent people, these kids. They're very smart. Very, very smart. They can fool us like that. And how I have answered 2 questions together right now from BabyChakra. One was, how long should a mother breastfeed? Exclusively till 6 months. You can start, but बच्चे को थोड़ा थोड़ा खाना चटाना शुरू कर सकते हो. Once the baby's birth weight doubles, 5 months cross कर गया है, just give them that thing. 6 months में कुछ ऐसा flip नहीं हो रहा अचानक से. And if it's a preterm baby, corrected weight, like let the baby cross 5 and corrected age करो. So preterm 7 months में बच्चा पैदा हो गया at the 7 months of pregnancy. So don't go for 6 months में उसको दे दूंगी. 6 months after birth. That should be 6 months after completion of term. तो उसका होगा around 7 months or 8 months you can give. Preterm babies का development catch up होने थोड़ा सा लगता है time. And always get your pediatrician's approval weaning से पहले. That will, because see, I can't give a blanket advice to every mother. So I'm just giving you ballpark. This you can expect. Okay. So I've answered these questions. I'm just going through the questions. Now I am going to Instagram questions. How can I let my baby stop feeding at night? How can I let my baby to stop feeding at night? She just needs nipple throughout the night. Is there any nuskha or pacifier works to? Don't give pacifier. Okay, Ruhi is asking me this question. How can I let my baby stop breastfeeding at night? She just needs the nipple throughout the night. Is there any nuskha or pacifier works to avoid during nights because my nipple goes sore? I feel so bad for you, Ruhi. I know these kids, wo jo sucking ka need hai na, wo it gets met by pacifier, and that will, you don't even realize when it is creeping in milk supply. Pacifier mato, it is not even good for the baby's jaw and teeth development. So Ruhi, you have to give a little tough love. You thappo bachche ko, keep a dupatta of yours that you've worn throughout the day. That smell itself will be able to pacify them. Patting the baby to sleep helps, because they tuk 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 karke, they fall asleep. That should help. That is one nuskha. You giving your dupatta next to the baby and moving away, because nipple ki milk ki smell, they'll just come asking for more. Hello, mommy would. Okay. वो बस Ruhi, your baby, now she's just doing मजे में. She's just sucking your milk मजे में. So you have to show a little nahi bas. And you explain to the baby before ki, you can't take my nipple through the night. Your baby will start to understand. No, finish ho gaya. And thapak ke sula usko. Arinya, mine is a 42-year-old baby, suffers a lot from. Great. Nitya has told that her baby sleeps well after feeding. That is great. I had answered a question initially. I'm just talking to her. I think you guys could be confused. Mine is 40 days old. Baby suffers a lot from gas problem. Can you please suggest? Arinya, okay. Again, mothers who I'm telling you to DM me, please DM me. Arina, I think 40-day-old का baby है, gas problem है. I want to know a little bit about आप क्या खाते हो दिन में. I also want to know कि are you taking have you changed something in your diet? And the other thing is, are you too stressed? These are the three things I want to ask you. So please, Arina, please DM me. I want to know a little bit more. And guys, if you feel some koi question has been asked and you wanted to know the answer and I'm asking the person to DM me taki I can get a full history before I answer that question for them, I will make short clips of these questions. If you want any specific question, you IGTV ke niche laga do. I'll make a short clip. I'll release it on BabyChakra also, and that question will get answered. Nitya, it's okay. The baby doesn't sleep much always. That is okay. The sleep regression happens. Your baby's 3 months old. The sleep will get less. Don't Google and tell कि मेरा बच्चे को इतने घंटे सोना चाहिए. Every baby is different. some कुछ बच्चों की नींद भी कम रहती है. Ummi E, my baby is 30 days. After breast milk, also he is cranky. I guess his stomach is not full. I'm giving top feed also, but then also he's cranky. Ummi E, please DM me. These are very important questions and I need a deeper history of this. So I will talk to you in my direct messages. How do you know baby's having gas problem? He's 14. Arinya, I would like to talk to you. Okay. I'm going deeper. My gas. How do I know if it's actually gas? Arinya, yes. Yes, I've seen Ummi, Arinya, and Azra. I want you guys to DM me. I'm sure a lot of our audience would like to know the answers to your questions. You've asked important questions. I'll share your history with everyone. I want to know in detail because this is kind of borderline consultation. It's just not a question. So I want to know in detail before I give you an answer. Next question is, thank you. Hello, doctor. Your way of explaining things is very well. Thank you. Okay, very important question. I want to know the pros and cons of sideline and feeding baby. Is it safe? People will tell you sideline is not safe. So you can sideline and feed a newborn baby also. It will take some adjustment. It will take some courage. But you're not under the influence of any medicine. And if you're not, medicine matlab something that will make you sleepy. If you're mentally stable, if your baby is more than 2.5 kgs, okay, preferably above 3 kgs, you can safely breastfeed your baby by sideline and feeding. It is safe also. You don't need to worry about it. And in fact, it is better for you. It is easier to keep up with nighttime feeds. Bottle aane ka kam chance hai because after a point of time, right? After like a week or 2 weeks of getting fully adapted to breastfeeding, तुमको मालूम ही नहीं पड़ेगा कब बच्चा आके दूध पी के सो जा रहा है. It is better for your lower back. आपको दर्द कम होगा. कमर बहुत टूट जाती है breastfeed करते करते. How many hours these babies feed during the day, and how many hours will you sit? You'll go mad. You'll be able to fall asleep also. And I have told, if the baby is about 2.5 kgs, preferably above 3 kgs, you are not under the influence of any drugs that make you sleepy, and you are mentally stable, you can safely breastfeed. And please realize our instincts are very good after the baby is born. We naturally become light sleepers. बच्चे की आहट से भी हम उठ जाते हैं. And if you sometimes feel कि if you're scared that बच्चे को suffocation का, you don't need to be scared. And the reports on this suffocation with co-sleeping and all it's bizarre because there are lots of confounding factors in it कि water bed use किया गया था, बहुत bedding थी, तक्के से बच्चा suffocate हुआ था. So this is like very muddled up. And if you're not that confident in the first 1 month, no problem. But when you're fully awake, side lie करके feed करो. If you think sleeping में तुमको नहीं करना है, no problem. You can wait for 2 months before you do नींद में सुलाना लेट के. But you should in fact train yourself in sideline and feeding a child. I hope that answers your question, Arfat. That's done. My baby is 1 year old now and I want to stop breastfeeding now because I'm working woman, but how to do this? I just want to know this today. Okay. Amanpreet, thank you. Yeah. So okay. Ruhi, I've answered your question. I think you missed it. Ruhi, did you get the answer to my question? I answered it. Did you miss that part of the chat? Hello, Nabia. My baby is 1 year old and wanted to stop breast. Okay, so how to stop breastfeeding a baby? It's not going to be easy. The baby is going to resist it. As I told, you can always talk to your child. Always talk to your child and tell them, respect their intelligence, whatever little understanding they have, they do understand. And okay, you can watch my IGTV, Ruhi. IGTV में around 7:30 में मैंने आपका question answer किया है. Wait, I forgot your question also. I just Ruhi. What was your question? Can you post it again? Yeah, Ruhi, I've answered your question, darling. Okay. So how to stop breastfeeding at Arushali, can you please post the question again? I did not see your question. Arushali, just post your question again, darling. My baby is 1 year old now and she wants to stop breastfeeding. How is she going to go about it? So how do you go about it? The way you go about it is, it takes time and thoda emotional ho jata hai over time to stop the baby's breastfeeding. The first thing you can do is get help from your husband, because your smell will tempt the kid. And talk to the kid, tell him throughout the day, from now onwards, we'll reduce the milk. You start with daytime feedings. Daytime feeding, आप पहला एक feed कम करो and give them the child a meal instead. And पानी दो, बच्चे को पानी glass से पीने की, sippy cup से पीने की आदत लगाओ. So when the baby gets that habit, what will happen is the baby will be content. So milk का need कम रहेगा. So morning one feed if you reduce, the afternoon nap, जब भी आपका बच्चा nap करता है, that time you allow the feed, no problem. Then 3 days of one feed less. The next 3 days, remove another feed. The next, after that, you remove the nap wala feed. And after that, you can slowly remove the nighttime wala feed. Now, the nighttime wala feed will be the most difficult. So first thing is, bacha content rahega that time. And you explain to the baby. Don't shout at the baby. Don't tell bacha samajh lo. You samjhao. Intelligent being, tell. आप बड़े हो गए हो, we are going to stop feed. Even 6 से 8 महीने के बच्चों को आप समझाओगे, soothing voice, no, we're not going to feed anymore. You become big. 1 year bacha will have more understanding. So you can start. So first 3 days, you stop one feed and give food instead. And at that point of time, have access to water, because the baby will ask you for milk for thirst also. तो बच्चे को बोलो आपको पानी चाहिए, you thirsty, you drink this. Sippy cup है, straw cup है, preferably will be glass. वरना sippy cup से going to glass, right? It's another headache. So see if the baby accepts with glass. If not, you're seeing a lot of problems adjusting to glass, go for sippy cup. बच्चा ऐसे आराम से, you know, that breast वाला, don't go from breast, don't jump to bottle. That will be another struggle to stop the bottle, and that is terrible for teeth development. So at that point, teeth जब develop हो रहे 1 year के, don't start bottle. You can go from breast to sippy cup. Let the baby have access to water throughout the day, ताकि वो thirst से तुम्हारे पास ना आए. That will be another thing. The next point that you need to keep in mind is that एक फीड कम किया, 3 दिन के लिए एक फीड, नेक्स्ट फीड यू रिड्यूस दैट, एंड आई टोल्ड यू 3 days करके ऐसे कम करेंगे. नाइट टाइम फीड्स के लिए by now the baby will realize कि हाँ मेरे फीड्स कम हो गए. And if the baby throws a big fit, big tantrum, बात मान लो, don't make it traumatic for the baby. Reboot, try again 2 days later to stop the nighttime feed. And this time you tell, mama ka feed kam karna hai, we're going to stop feeding. The nighttime feed will take a longer time to get rid of, but you need to ask your partner, your spouse, your husband, or your mother, whoever is there with you, to help you out. You ask them to help you out in the night time. So jo bachche ka brush karana hai, feeding pani pilana hai, whatever happens in the nighttime routine, let someone else do it. And you say, bye, mama is not feeding today, mama is in the other room. You will also get a rest. It's going to be an overwhelming emotional time for you. आपको रोना भी आएगा जब बच्चा का last feed होगा. You'll literally cry that day. कि, you know, it's an end of an era. My baby is not small anymore. You know, you get emotional at that time. So at that time, you stay in another room, cry a little. It's okay. It feels it's a big transition for the mother also, right? And that's how you will stop. It will be 2 steps ahead, 1 step behind, 2 steps ahead, 1 step behind. But eventually you will reach there. I hope that's answered your question, Amanpreet. It is done. My son is 72 days old. How, ma'am, how can we know I have enough milk? More baby, more crying. I noted them. I have mentioned how the milk, how to come to know the milk is enough for the baby. So I hope that answers your question. I've done this. I want to know sideline position, pros and cons. I have answered that also. One breast at a time is okay. Yes, one breast at a time only, no problem. There some people find it more comfortable to give only right breast while sideline and feeding. It's okay, no problem. One breast only, you know. My baby's 54 years old, 5 kg. I take Shatavari powder. Yes, you can have Shatavari powder. A very cute question. Can I have chocolate and cake? Does